Hello, good morning. Exciting news. My friend is gonna come to town to visit in a little bit. And it's his birthday. So he better not show up to the stream because I'm gonna be making him a birthday present. Here we go. That's the plan for today. Is he has 2 pugs who he loves, lots and lots. So we're gonna make 2 little needle-felted pugs as a present. And if he fucking shows up, I'll scream. I feel like chlorine. Oh no. You have become a chlorine. Alas, alas. Alright, I get my wallies all over next to me. Because there's not that much room on the desk. I just googled needle-felted pugs. And I saw some images and I said, yeah, that looks good. I'll try and make that. So that's what we're doing. Wow, 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 wow. Is that about the size we want? Just like a handful. I gotta make a second one because there's 2 of these little creatures. Is it about the same amount? I think so. One might be slightly bigger, but that's accurate to real life because they are, after all, different sizes. One of them is old man, one of them is young baby, baby pug. But yes, here we go. Step, 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 step. I stabbed myself. But I'm wearing the gloves, so it's fine. Honestly, I don't think this thing works as well as I want it to. I had high hopes for it, but then it doesn't penetrate as deep as I think I would prefer it to. I think it's meant for more like surface level stuff. Oh well. Does my phone go off or something? Here, we'll put it on top of something else so it doesn't vibrate as strongly. Stip, 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 stip. Stip, stip, stip. And we had video to watch that we haven't watched yet, which is the final in the Candy series. The purple girl is here. We haven't watched this yet. Yay! Let's go.
Annyeong! Welcome to Delightful! We've arrived at the final color in our
Woo!
Candy doll series, purple! While blue candy had quite an interesting history to it, purple is much more straightforward. What do you associate with purple? Grapes, of course! Grape flavor! Everything is grape! Sure, there are a couple outliers that use purple packaging, like Milka chocolate, but when it comes to purple candy, grape flavor is obviously king. So, how do you design a character that embodies grape candy? Like this! Having
So
hair
cute.
that looks like a bunch of grapes is quite a wild design choice, and I cannot wait to realize it in 3D. I was very pleased with the half and half joggers that look like a nerd's box, and of course, her mobility aid that looks like a pixie stick. What doll
So
should we use for this
fucking
grape-tastic girl? I'm thinking Claudine Wolf from Monster High, Generation 3. Let's go!
Claudine, what a classic.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love Monster High dolls. It's a shame I have to deconstruct a perfectly good one before I can start my own project. Sorry about your face, Claudine.
Destruction! Poor thing.
All cleaned off. Look at that face mold. Just beautiful. Soak the doll in boiling water to soften the head, and then gently pull it off the neck.
Just need to make potatoes. That's what pugs are, is potatoes.
I find that Gen 3 dolls' neck pegs are more likely to snap, so I suggest pinching the top of the neck together like this so that the two halves of the plastic mold don't pry apart as you twist. Okay, as is the case when using Claudine for customizing, we must take the slightly annoying but...
Wait, the boy in question is texting me. Don't watch my stream today! No! You're not allowed! Don't look! Don't look! Oh no! He noticed! Don't look! It's a surprise! You can't see it! Not for you! Not for your eyes! Oh shit! He noticed! Oh fuck! We've been spotted! Oh no! Okay, he's not looking. Oh my god! He's on the stream title! Oh no!
Necessary step of covering up these giant holes in her head, where I cut off the wolf ears. First, I cut out a rough square of cotton fabric, big enough to generously cover the hole, and glue it on.
Secrets. Surprises.
Once that's dry, I mark exactly how big the patches need to be, pop them off the head, and trim the shape. Thanks to the glue, they've dried into these contact lens shapes that perfectly fit the skull, so now I will simply stitch it down. Well, I say simple. Okay, it's actually kind of tricky. Use a pair of pliers and some patience to work through the neck hole.
I don't think Big One's gonna help me with that one anymore. So we'll work on our second potato. I know! Birthday boy, get out of here! Birthday boy, go away!
These are the best.
He said he wouldn't
I've
look,
ever done
so
on a
we'll
Claudine,
trust.
Taking the time to sew is key. I've tried only glue before and it just doesn't hold. And after I paint the hair color base back on, you can barely see the patches at all. Pretty proud of that. Seeing as the doll has earrings, it seems worthwhile to sculpt some human ears for her out of air dry clay. I'll paint them and glue them on later.
She needs some ears.
Let's talk about that hair. What should we use to achieve this?
Who knows?
Well, for starters, I know I have some beautiful purple hair in the old hair box. Here it is. Remember this? Yeah, it's the first failed wig attempt for my old stock box doll, Nova. Maybe we could use it.
Still.
I really like the color. Yarn also seems like a good option, though. I picked up a variety of purples from cool to warm. And of course, pom-poms for the grapes. Is this going to work? Only one way to find out.
Only one way.
Let's try using the nylon hair for her fringe. I root a creamy white along the bottom, and then a mix of purple and blue-purple hair above that.
So lumpy.
For the rest of her head, let's cut a whole bunch of purple yarn strips and punch them directly into the head. I switch to a larger needle eye, and then start at the part and work my way out from there. Because we're using yarn, which is a much larger fiber than nylon, there's no need to root every hole in the doll's head. You can be pretty chintzy with a yarn reroot and it will still end up looking nice and full.
Step.
The yarn itself looks really pretty, but I think I'll braid it. When it comes to this unique hairstyle, I want to give a lot of credit to H. Ollie Crafts. Many months ago, I saw a video where he glued pom-poms to the end of a rooted doll's braids, and I thought it looked so cute. I knew I had to try that for myself at some point, so when it came time to design the purple doll, I thought, of course, this is the perfect character to employ that technique.
Grapes
I am,
for
as
her.
always, inspired by my fellow customizers. Before we style it and add the essential pom-pom grapes, let's get the face-up done first. Whip the hair up and out of the way, securing a bit of scrap fabric around the doll's hairline with some pins. This masks off the hair so that our sealant won't discolor it or make it sticky. As always, feel free to check the description box of the video for specifics on materials if you're curious.
Look how nice outside it is.
Let's dive right in with the purple. I sketch the eye lines, eyelids, eyebrows, iris, until I'm finished with the line art and can begin adding other. To bring depth to this purple face-up, I'll be adding warm pinks and cool
Oh, she's
indigos
so
to
cute
flesh out the
already.
spectrum and make the face-up's colors look rich.
She always does such cute
I think
little
that's
faces.
the key to any monochromatic
love.
painting. If you don't want it to fall flat, widen your color selection to encompass just a hint of its neighboring colors.
Okay.
To move things along, I
Now we
often wet
refine
my
the shape a little. Ah! Fuck!
and young.
I fucked up.
One thing I didn't tell nothing is layering up. That's your cue to take the doll
Okay.
back outside and give her another coat of sealant. I tend to spray my dolls about 2 times during the face up and then again at the end, of course. One thing I did change on the fly was leaving off the little swirls on her cheeks. I thought it got in the way of the colorful dots.
Yeah, this gets much deeper.
For the
than
highlights, I
multi-one.
went with reflections that look like a ring light. I just like the way that looks. Maybe she's a YouTuber. Super cute.
So
A
cute.
great face up to end the series on. Or is it?
Da da da!
More about that later.
Wait, is there
Remove
another
the
one? Is
hair
there a
burrito,
bonus?
And we get our first view of the hair and face together. I love her already. I was aiming for like a South Asian sort of face, and I think in combination with the straight bangs that comes across a bit better. Maybe it's because I had HLA Crafts on my mind when I was drawing the character and I know he's Pakistani. Alright, let's finish up this hair. I boil wash just the bangs portion to get the nylon hair to lay flat. Then I get to gluing on
Cutie.
those pom-poms. The moment I've been waiting for. Every braid has been sealed at the end with glue so that it won't unravel. I trim the scraggly ends and layer up the hair for starters.
Kitty, what are you doing?
Then, working from bottom to top, I take a pom-pom, spread the fibers apart and squirt some hot glue in there, and then push the braid inside,
It's not
pinching it
dense
closed.
enough. We must
This
dance
hides
in
the
it.
glue pretty well and it keeps it clean. I'm thinking bigger grapes down below, and then I'll feather in smaller grapes towards the top. At the time, I was a bit disappointed that I couldn't find pom-poms in the exact colors I wanted. I had to settle for a medium-sized lilac ball when I wanted more blues and indigos. Ah well. In the end, I think it works to her advantage because the lilac brings more contrast to the hair.
So fucking
Given the
cute.
candy context, the hair could be interpreted as a variety of treats, not just grapes. They kind of look like gumballs too, or maybe boba tea. Let's make the clothes.
I'm gonna take off the jacket.
Once again, I need to come up with a new pattern because I've never made a tiny pair of joggers before. I based it off of UV's outfit, and after some amount of troubleshooting, I had them more or less worked out.
There we
I
go.
took that pattern into Photoshop and colored it. Working in candy logos onto the clothes of all the dolls in this series was lots of fun. It really unifies them as a group. They share an aesthetic. And this is one of the joys of customizing dolls, or making any DIY for that matter. Because it's just personal use, I feel comfortable using all these brands' logos in my design, you know? There's no way this doll line could exist on toy shelves because can you imagine the lawsuits?
They
If
can't
you've
sue
seen the
me
other
though.
videos in this series, you know what's next. I got the fabric custom printed and shipped to my house. I went with cotton for the joggers and bag, and knit for her top and socks. Alright, I always worry that showing you how I sew the clothes can be kind of boring, but I know some of you want to see how I do this, so let's make it fast. Place the fronts onto their respective
Hey, your
back
staff.
pieces and sew the inseam. Open them up. Fronts to fronts and backs to backs, sew that crotch. Hem the top. Cut 4 centimeter strips of elastic and stitch them to the bottom of each leg, stretching as you sew. The edge looked pretty bad, so I whip stitched it. Fold the joggers inside out like this and sew the out seams. Turn the
Give me
pants right side out
potato.
and iron them flat. Then add the finishing touches. And that's the pants.
I really like the sound it makes sometimes. Yeah, no, I'm not selling it. You can't do anything. Yeah. It's lame. Disney is like a nightmare. See that. Let me put it right under the mic. Good sound.
Now for the tank top. Shoulder seams. Finish the neck and armholes somehow. I was in the mood to do some embroidery, so I did that for some reason. Side seams. Hem the bottom.
Blanket stitch.
And add Velcro.
I've done the
Why did I
blanket
get rid
stitch
of the
before.
sleeves? I can't recall why I changed my mind. Maybe I thought they'd get in the way of the jacket? Doll clothes really don't layer very well, do they? Now for the hardest garment. You know it's that clear plastic jacket. I still have some of that sturdy feeling vinyl that I saved from the recycle bin. This was also a new pattern I had to figure out. I used Cherry's Letterman jacket pattern as a starting point for attempt number 1. As I learned with Clementine's plastic jacket, it's easiest to use binder clips to hold pieces together as you sew, but it's still tricky because obviously it's difficult to see and very slippery.
A story on the dragon's fucking cars? Okay. Fun times.
Used the machine where I could, but a lot of hand stitching was necessary too.
That definitely seems Japanese. That is the kind of shit that would happen in Japan. Oh, lordy, lordy.
Fold it over
Fun
and
times.
sew the side seams, including the sleeves. This is best done by hand from the finished side. Stitch the zipper in there and how's it look? It's a little boxy. Not quite the shape I want. It doesn't fit the doll well either. Well, let's consider that a warm-up. Take 2. This time I took 2 big darts in the sides, ran embroidery thread through the cuffs so that they gathered like this, and best of all, used the right kind of zipper this time, a separating zipper, in dark purple. I love the way those darts give it that sort of 80s, early 90s jacket vibe. You'll notice I left the collar off of this version. It would have been cool. I love the way it looks in my concept art, but I decided with all the hair and the giant earrings she's gonna have later on, there's just too much happening around the face. The collar would have just gotten in the way. All that's left are her accessories, shall we?
I mean,
Let's
like,
start with the bag.
Japan is the people who would put in the effort and dedication to make an actual published manga of it, you know? US will make the
Cut off
meme.
zipper from
Japan will
jacket number
dedicate
1
hours
and
of
use
work.
it here to make a super cute grape soda satchel.
So
A clasp
fucking
allows the
cute.
doll to wear the bag without squeezing it over her head. And check it out, an adjustable strap. I'll be honest, artificial grape isn't my favorite flavor, but for some reason I love grape soda. For shoes, I take these Monster High Gen 3 trainers and give
Oh my
them
God,
2
those
coats
are
of
actually
gesso.
really cute.
Then I simply
Just
use
on their own,
acrylics to
maybe.
paint on a
Not
new
very careful.
design.
But, you know.
These are inspired by Milka chocolate bar wrappers, the bubble chocolate to be exact. Can I freehand the text onto the front of the shoe?
Oh my god,
Not
she's done
bad.
it.
I think I did better on the left shoe. Coat them with matte varnish and they're done.
Monster High
Lastly,
never
her
misses with
forearm
the shoes.
crutch. I think I can make it out of a wooden skewer and some wires. With a correctly scaled drawing by my side, I cut the wooden skewer down. Then I drill holes into each end. Ooh, that looks dicey. Easy does it.
Careful, don't stab yourself.
I fit in 2 wires, one for the hand grip and one for the part that bends up towards the elbow. Using a small bit of wood that I stole from my preschooler's art project, I drill holes to create the forearm cuff.
God, she's a
I did-
kid in preschool already. Time! Anyways.
It simplify the shape of this part quite a bit. The real thing is open towards the front or has like comfortable elastic stretching across the gap, but I thought if I sculpted it that way, the piece might be too weak and break apart when I put it on the doll. Keeping the wood connected into an O shape makes it more durable.
You more visible on the
It's
keyboard.
not exactly a pixie stick, but this straw comes pretty darn close. It resembles the jumbo pixie stick packaging. You guys remember those? Sugar in a straw, baby. I just found this on the side of the road when I was out on a walk. You know me, I pick up nasty trash and use it on my dolls. A couple touches of glue will help hold this together, and with a little paint, fabric, and purple glitter,
Get
it's
you
done.
that bastard.
Doesn't it look so sugary sweet? With the outfit made, we just need to dress the doll and call her done. Right? Not so fast. So, you know how I designed and made this doll series all at the same time, more or less? Well, as I've been finishing up editing everyone else's videos, Purple sat in the corner mostly finished for several months, waiting her turn. Normally this wouldn't matter and I wouldn't bring it up, but what happened to her face? It happened so slowly in real time I almost didn't clock it, but the pink has disappeared. I have no idea why this happened. I've made about 100 dolls during my time here on YouTube, and this has never happened before.
What the hell?
Well, Sylvian's eyebrows disappeared once, but I think that's because I drew them on after the final coat of sealant. Anyway, I checked my footage, and I did do everything right, so it's a mystery. Well, there's no helping it. We'll have to paint the face again. It's a repaint. And now that I'm looking at her, you know what? I'm not satisfied with the fringe either. It's not behaving and looks kind of dorky. So we're redoing that too. It feels weird removing my own face up. Okay, here we go again. Wash her off with soap and water, spray her with the sealant, and then draw the face. I liked what I had drawn and planned on simply drawing it again, but I was really in the zone that day, you know, like having a good art day, and ended up drawing a far superior version, if I do say so myself. I got richer, deeper colors of purple in and around the eyes. The gradients look really smooth, and I gave her thicker eyebrows, which I thought looked really good. I'm actually glad the first face up went kaput because I love my second attempt way better. I sure hope the face doesn't fade this time. I used a brand new bottle of sealant this time, so hopefully that does the trick. Forget nylon hair for the bangs, that was a mistake from the beginning. Let's use brushed yarn wefts instead. A little glue, a little eyebrow razor, a little wet toothbrush, and heck yeah!
Oh yeah.
Those bangs
that
are
does look way
perfect.
better.
While I'm nitpicking my own work, you know what else I don't like? The shape of her hair is wrong. It's not hanging right. I need to dive back in and layer the hair some more until it falls and cascades more like a bunch of grapes. And let's not forget this. Yeah, she's got a little grapevine leaf up there.
Hell yeah.
This is just fabric glued to an embroidery thread. Looks pretty convincing, huh? I thought it'd be cute to wrap the vine around one of the braids to keep it in place. That's what I'm talking about. What a last minute glow up, huh? All prompted by some freak mistake with her face up. Now we can dress the doll and call her done, at long last.
Hell yeah! Look at them all. What a great series. Yeah! They're all so cute. Yeah, it's good background music. Right.
The 6th and final doll in our Rainbow Candy Doll series, Periwinkle, is here at last.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Got good grapey hair. Oh, she's so fucking cute. Look at her little bag. Her little sparkly eyeballs.
I desperately wanted to give her a name related to grapes, but nothing was a good match. Concord, Muscat, Cabernet Sauvignon. My favorite kind of grapes to snack on are called Moondrop grapes, but as a name that sounds pretty hippy-dippy. So yeah, a friend recommended Periwinkle, and I think it suits her.
Oh my god. Okay, I think we have 2 potatoes now. Now we just need to make them look like dogs. Oh, so cute. Those earrings.
the lineup complete, you know we gotta get photos of the whole group together.
Hell yeah.
Let's have some fun with color combinations too. Primaries, secondaries, complements.
I love that.
Let's take one of Cherry and Barry together. In my headcanon, they're fraternal twins because the whole red and blue food dye history thing.
Alright, yeah, we got one slightly bigger, but that's okay.
What a journey. It feels great to have the final doll in the bag. I'm so proud of this series. It showcases everything I love about doll customizing. The concept
Fantastic
art was
work.
fun. We've got tons of diversity amongst the characters, from fashion styles to height differences, and perhaps most obviously, the bright, happy rainbow colors and candy theme. I mean, it doesn't get more delightful than that. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this colorful series as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay artsy. Annyeong.
I have to actually pick colors. I've got one black pug and one tan and brown pug. Classic pug. So I got all my dark colors out. I'm just not sure which one's black and which one's like an off blue or gray. I think that's fully black. That was green. That one's purple. Maybe I had purple just for fun. That's a nice dark gray, which will be good for like highlights. What about you? It's beautiful. Isn't delightful great? Isn't she great? I don't know. What else did we watch today? This is like a blue-gray. I don't know if I want a blue-gray, but maybe I do. Just black. Yeah, those are the same. So it's just some extra, should I need it. And then a little bit of a lighter gray as a highlight color too. Squish, 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 squish. I guess we can look that up.
Isolation.
Is this the one? By Vune?
Autism. Children's cartoons.
Okay.
These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect
Lolgo.
Walk out! Oh no!
accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction.
Unmedicated schizophrenia.
Oh god. Oh no.
New Sparky vid. Seems like he's doing well.
Oh no.
Most people don't know this, but the world is going to end in 95 days.
I tried to warn them, but no one listened. Now they are all dead.
But fear not, DJ the Monkey came to our world to save us. There's this TV show called Happy Fun World. It's one of my most favorite shows. And while I was re-watching it for the 18th time recently, I noticed there was something different about DJ. He was trying to tell me something.
What is this editing?
DJ is real and strong and he is your friend.
Yep, but first we have to help him get here. Come on.
Okay.
Sparky's room.
It's making me nervous. Oh my god, not the fucking My Melody holding a knife.
DJ told me that he needed help getting into our world, so I built him a portal. Pizza's his favorite food. Mine too.
Marla, can I talk to you?
We're busy.
Marvelous Marla is here to spread the good word of DJ's
Goodness
arrival to the
gracious.
masses.
I know what you're doing.
I'm spreading the word to the masses.
DJ's gonna come.
DJ's gonna come. DJ's gonna come. DJ's go. Oh my god.
I'm a mentally ill person.
Oh, you're the one making all these horrible edits?
Marla. Marla.
Oh! Not the weed smoking girlfriend.
Stressful. I spent 15 hours redoing 2 lines of code for the thruster engine.
That man is a fucking jump scare.
It's still not working. How was your day?
Ew. Ew, the height difference.
I'm been working on my movie, actually.
Okay. What's for
Scary.
dinner?
Hey, don't you want to see what I'm working on?
I'm gonna go lay down. Send it to me later.
Damn.
No, because you never open any of the stuff that I send you.
Fine. Show me.
Most people don't know this, but the world is going to end in 95 days.
It's getting even worse.
But fear not. DJ the Monkey came to our world to save us.
Keep watching it, we'll explain it.
What am I watching? Some kind of snuff film?
Some kind of snuff
it's a
film!
feature-length documentary.
A documentary about a autistic man with a filthy rabbit hat?
No. Yes, it's his persona. He's a furry, you know? Okay, there's this thing on the internet called a lol cow. See, Sparky is like one of the most famous lol cows online. All these people are obsessed with him.
I don't understand why anybody would want to spend their time looking at this.
It's anthropological.
Is it?
What?
Anthropological excuses. I don't know. I don't love the concept of the little cow, but you know, yeah. Whoa! Oh, right. And then they fucking dox people too. Like that's the problem is it always goes way too far where they're just stalking people.
The portal is ready.
Oh.
Let's go.
Oh,
I stayed up all night, double, triple checking the calculations.
Jesus.
Everything should be all set.
Portal time, dude. Let's do this.
I'm gonna come. Portal activate.
What the balloon is.
DJ's gonna come. DJ's gonna come.
I think it's working! It's opening!
Oh my god! Marla, join in! He might come if you can share his name too!
Marla, are you having fun?
What the fuck are you doing?
This woman's name
Oh my
is
god,
Marla.
fucking shit out of my
She has
face,
been
fucking
stalking
asshole.
and harassing a mentally ill.
Oh, you're mad that people's filming you. Damn, she's got moves. Look at her dancing. Not the Dark Souls hypocrite.
John, take this slanderous libel down at once. Marla is not a stalker. She's a historian, filmmaker, and my friend.
You are a delusional loco.
Not the Discord.
What's a
pings.
lol cow?
I'm not sure.
Ah! That fucking voice is
John
triggering.
says you're just filming me to make fun of me online.
No, I'm helping you spread the word of DJ to the masses.
I knew you were my friend.
Oh, man. Oh. This is sad now. Shirt says that's puss.
Sparky can't film today.
Get out of my way, John.
He isn't here. He's been hospitalized. People found him wandering on the side of the highway yesterday evening. Naked.
Like, naked, or like underwear naked?
This isn't funny. You're making his mental illness worse. He's not stable. What if he hurts someone? What if he hurts himself?
Mark, that isn't true. You don't want Sparky to unalive himself.
Of course not, bro.
Oh, someone saying unalive in real life.
Where is my
That's
cartoon
Undertale
monkey?
music. From fucking Alfie's lab. You clock Undertale music a mile away!
Okay. I have to go. See you around.
Alright, we're gonna have to fill in some spots, but it's just the start. We'll add a little more. Hospital.
Let's go get dinner somewhere.
I can't. Getting dinner with the guys from work.
I can go with you.
Ow. You'd be bored. It's engineer talk.
I know math and science stuff. I got an A in calculus.
I got an A in calculus. You know, you are actually pretty funny.
His own little... What? What? Can you make those? It might be Earthbound music, but it was definitely at least sampled in the underground lab. Like that. No, I know that. Yeah, give me that. Give me that OST. That's where I recognize it from. That's not it. It's gonna be like the last half of the thing. Yep. It makes sense that as Earthbound sampling, the first thing Toby ever made was like a ROM hack of Earthbound. So yeah. Okay. So the original was probably from Earthbound, but I was like, that's where I recognize it from, but you know.
Hey.
You're not gonna believe it. Come on, come here. DJ came. DJ came in his chair, IRL. Where's your camera?
I can't make the movie anymore, okay?
Why not?
There's a lot of people online that don't like you. I don't want them to leave mean comments.
Oh, please, Marla. When those infidels see their new god, DJ the Monkey, they will bow down to us, along with Miss Marla, their new prophet, once we save them. Now, let's go meet DJ.
I really can't, okay?
Marla?
John, leave her alone. No. What are you doing?
Get the heck off our property.
Is he upsetting you?
No,
I'll bite
no,
you.
I'm not.
I'll
No.
bite you. That was assault! That was assault!
No,
You
no,
just
no.
assaulted
I
me!
did not.
Blue, call the police! Call the police!
Don't call the police. No one calls.
Right
Did
now!
you hear that, everyone? Never give up on your dreams.
Of course you do. Never give up on your dream.
Sparky, the movie I was making, it wasn't to help you.
Oh, damn.
I was just making fun of you.
Reveal.
But I thought you were my friend.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's devastating! Oh, no. That's so sad. Marla! How could you? You fictional character, but also representation of how people act in the real world.
You are an evil bitch.
Oh. Jesus.
I'm really busy right now.
Tell me he's not on those fucking alpha podcasts.
It's 11:30. Can you take a break?
No. No, you don't understand the kind of pressure I'm under. Like water block.
He's making fucking Teslas, he is. He's definitely on those fucking alpha podcasts. Shut up about dopamine! Oh my god. These fucking podcast people are so stupid. Also, congrats to Andrew Tate for getting arrested for his many crimes that he keeps bragging about and then being like, no one here is me. Don't tell people you do crimes. I'm so fucking evil with the Taco Bell mouth.
Oh, hiya, Marla.
What? What? Hello? I mean, he's being prosecuted. Okay, sure. What the fuck? Yeah, okay. I've watched a lot of Veen's animations then, because I've seen a lot of these, like Catopolis and the tennis one and stuff. Are these newer then? Was I not subscribed? Yeah, I haven't seen these. That makes sense that it's Voon, though. Voon. Twins in Paradise is really good. And Key Cat 96 I really like, too. Yeah, I've seen some of those. That's the first one that was live action. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't seen that. Thanks for pointing that out. I guess maybe I must have missed that. I thought it was subscribed, like, on my old account that I've had since I was, like, 16, but, you know. Yeah, no wonder it's coming up in the recommendeds. Cool. What's the other one you suggested? The Bloody Mary. Okay. Whoop, fat fingers. Fat fingers. All right, this one. Oh, no. The other Bloody Mary is here! Yeah, wait. Yeah.
You recording? Okay. Hey guys,
Man,
I'm in a
the problem is I want to watch this without fucking needle felting at the same time.
certain spooky man.
I've watched, I mean to watch this one. I've watched the little, like, the short videos they've made with these characters.
Today. And you'll never believe this. Someone actually hired me to ghost hunt. Now let's...
Uh-oh. So we've seen, like, the prototypes. Oh, fuck! They 5 seconds in? Rip that girl! You will be mazed. Like, they made a bunch of shorts about.
Last minute, but
her and her roommate. Is that Maury?
We got us a gig.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah, her and the deer
Have
girl
fun
messing with
gigging.
each other.
Funny, Sika. Ha ha. We're gonna do this job together.
Betty, I'm a demon, remember? I don't need work or money.
Okay then. Is that game free or?
I don't know. Yeah? Whatever. You found that weird book.
What's this?
Then half-assed the spell.
These magic circles are hard to draw. I'll wing it. I need to use animal blood? Tomato juice will do just fine.
And because of your sloppy summoning, I showed up half buried in the ground. And now here I am, stuck in your world with no demon powers and no way to get home. A gig. Please, it's your fault I'm here, so you can...
If you're finished, we need money now to pay the bills. And lucky for us,
I'm gonna watch this, like, without fucking looking down constantly, though. It's me chill. You watch this one.
Quick
'cause I've
motion
seen it.
over your head to jump up and shoot. Whoop, boop.
Okay.
All right. Whoop, bah.
Me
Buckets.
find my image.
Whoop, ah, Kobe. Whoop, ah, Kobe. Jordan. Whoop, ah, Kobe. All right.
Okay.
Whoop, ah, Kobe. 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 Buckets. Jordan.
What is the
Kobe.
metric in this
Man,
music?
there's some little
Decide
ears.
whether or not you make it.
Kobe, baby. Kobe beef.
Kobe beef.
What?
And and Kobe.
What's the
Buckets.
math it's doing
Jordan.
to see if you make it?
Jordan. Buckets.
Try Pippin?
Oh yeah, that's it. Scotty Pippen.
Pippin!
Scotty Pippen. Charles Barkley.
Larry Bird?
Larry Bird. Larry Bird. Good God, what's the deal?
Every single shot miss. Yeah. No. What else is on here that we can watch without getting fucking copyright strike? A lot of these are copyright strikes. We watched this one yet?
From her beginning,
Doll history.
Barbie has faced
Let's go.
scrutiny for how she represents the female identity. It's been long reported that she was based off of a German doll named Bid Lily, who was based on a sassy and promiscuous comic strip character. The Lily doll was first released in 1955 as a sort of gag gift for men, and it eventually found its way into the hands of Ruth Handler, the co-founder of Mattel, becoming the stylistic inspiration for Barbie, who was then released in 1959. Mattel would even go so far as to acquire the rights to Bid Lily in 1964, discontinuing all merchandise made around the character. So you could consider
Kitty in
this
the
to be an attempt on
background.
Mattel's part to sort of clean up Barbie's history, trying to ensure that this teenage, all-American fashion model's identity wouldn't be tainted by that of Lily's as a floozy adult woman. But of course, that wouldn't end the conversation around Barbie's body, looks, and how she represents women. In 1979, Mattel would release a Barbie that I think sort of represents a lot of the criticism that Barbie has received over the years. The Beauty Secrets Barbie. A Barbie who wears a lacy teddy that has beauty action arms, allowing you to follow her beauty routine, such as brushing her hair or putting on her makeup. To be fair, I love this doll. I think she's gorgeous. I think the packaging is great, but I can admit that she's not doing a ton for the bad role model allegations that often get thrown at Barbie. Excluding making her brush her teeth, we love a dental hygiene queen. So what happens when a competing toy company sees this doll and decides to take it one step further? We get the Glamour Secrets doll. Move over Beauty Secrets. It's time for glamour. You see, one day as I was innocently scrolling Twitter, I came across this
just
tweet,
looks
and it
stripey.
basically changed the direction of my life. She's got her lace bustier on, her panties scented and ready to go. Oh, she was
scented panties!
Going feral and needing to know more. So that Toys R Us, give me the deeds. That's the conversation. in case you wanted to hear it. This was a doll sold at Toys R Us whose entire identity was tied to lingerie being a key feature of her outfit, aka absolutely wild. So today we'll be diving into the origins of this doll line, as well as what was happening culturally that made this doll line that would be way too risque today happen.
Color, style, hair, that's so wild.
So I usually don't hop into my videos immediately admitting this, but I kind of mess up when doing research for this doll line. You see, for some reason, I thought these also were released in the 70s. So I was doing a ton of research around the cultural trends that were happening in the 70s and the women's rights movement and fashion, and putting together like this argument as to why I thought the dolls would be released looking like that. And no, it turns out they were released in 1988. But some of my argument still kind of is reflective of this. So I was originally going to argue that the trends of increased women's rights and the fight for those, combined with kind of this conservative pushback that was taking place that really was pushing for women to be in the home still, led to the result that was this doll that was very focused on appearance. Now, it had a going out dress, so I think it kind of has a bit of that independent, fun spirit. She's going out on the town, she's
be slightly lighter, so
woman, but it still had that focus on like maintaining looks and maintaining the Barbie appearance,
So now it's
which
just gonna
you
blend
could
straight
argue
in.
leans a bit more conservative. Don't know how I messed it up, but realizing the dolls actually came out in the 80s changes the context around them and actually makes it make a lot more sense in a weird way. You see, there were some kind of big cultural changes and fashion changes going on that I think kind of bleed directly into this style of doll. The first one is a trend that we've definitely seen come back before, and that's lingerie as outerwear. While lace in general was already a huge trend in the 80s, pop icons would be taking it a step further by wearing their lacy things on the outside. Take, for example, this photo of Madonna from the VMAs in 1994.
No, things are falling out! Ah!
An outfit actually looks really similar to our Heather doll outfit from the Glamour Secrets collection. So I definitely think some inspiration probably came directly from this. But of course, Madonna wasn't the only celebrity at the time who was wearing lingerie as outerwear. For example, we have Grace Jones in this gorgeous look. So many Cher outfits that leave little to the imagination in a really gorgeous way. Another example we can look to for this is with the fashion of Jean-Paul Gaultier, who I think I'm pronouncing his name wrong, so sorry to him.
Girl, I watched all the Barbie cartoons too. Fucking love Barbie. As a child. Barbie Fairytopia is where it's at. It's like a dark brown, but maybe that works. The problem is the dog this is based on is just completely black, but then he's not gonna look good because he's gonna be all blended together and whatever.
But he's credited as really popularizing this lingerie as outerwear trend, and did a ton of looks that basically were taking lingerie pieces and reimagining them in new contexts.
Life in the
Of course,
Dreamhouse
those
is
are more
fucking good.
high-fashion examples, but we also have trends like the workout wear of the 80s that was very leg showing. And also, in general, lingerie was more available than ever. Brands like Victoria's Secrets, which began in 1977, and Fredericks Hollywood were making lingerie pieces more affordable and accessible to the average person. And of course, the lingerie also tended to follow the general to the average.
Look at those pants. My goodness. Wow, the bazongs.
Person. And of course, the lingerie also tended to follow the general design trends in the 80s. As Catherine Hennessy notes in Fashion, the Ultimate Book of Fashion and Style, as more women entered traditionally male-oriented work environments, they found it advantageous to dress as though they were in command and sure of their sexuality. This meant jackets with heavily padded shoulders, vibrant colors, big hairdos, bold accessories, and shoes with pointed toes and spiked heels. Standing out, being in control, and being confident in your sexuality and femininity were in. Lingerie at this time also became, I would argue, kind of more elegant. Lace, again, was really in, and that's really apparent on lingerie or nightwear at the time. So all of that considered, I don't think it was necessarily the weirdest thing to have dolls wearing outfits that were kind of lingerie inspired. It was culturally just kind of a thing that was happening at the time. Now that we have a bit of an idea as to why these dolls might have been made, let's learn a bit more about who made them.
Flower Princess.
Creda International Incorporated was created in California in 1982. At least I think so. I would be lying if I didn't say how confused I was with the origin stories of this company. Most resources that I can find, including the original copyright date of this logo for Creda International, are from 1980.
Listen, we're just gonna look it up on here so I can look at it on the big screen. So I was looking at this one. Yeah, that's not big enough. He need a bigger nose. We must embiggen his nose. Wild Whimsy Woolies. Listen, I already have the supplies I need. I don't gotta buy this guy. I just gotta make him. Well, my friend is coming to town, and when he comes to town, it is in fact his birthday, and so I'm making him a birthday present.
82. However, there is also
He has 2 pugs, and he really likes pugs, so that's why we're making pugs. And that's why the stream is specified that he's not allowed to look at this!
So a Creda that still exists today. And if you look at their website on the Wayback Machine, you can see that they said that the company, Creda Promotions, originally opened in 1972 in Australia. Creda Promotions, which would become the brand known as Creda today, is a promotional company that works with a number of different brands making content for them, including toys. For most of the 2000s, Creda was actually the company that was designing and producing most of the toys for McDonald's Happy Meals. But is that Creda the same Creda that made these dolls? I don't know. This is something that I've really struggled with getting an exact answer for. It doesn't seem like Creda was producing like McDonald's toys till after the time period where they were producing the dolls that I'm going to cover, so it's totally possible they're the same company, but it's also possible that they're not. I got really lost in the trademark sauce trying to figure this out, just finding anything with like what brand owns this company or what company owns the brand, and I just don't know. Apparently there's a reason why trademark law is something that people like have to go to school for. But getting away from the trademark and Creda confusion, through the 80s and 90s, the brand Creda designed a number of different toys. Before I get into the dolls, here is a sampling of some of the non-dolls they created. In 1986, they released Uglies, Uglies, which were a set of figures designed to be just gross, or the ugliest friend you have. In 1987, they did a bunch of bike accessories, including lock draws, which were these themed bike locks, which I kind of like. In 1988, they released Winner's Choice Tiny Horses, a tiny horse for you, and my personal
Love
favorite,
a tiny
drum roll,
horse.
please, troll ponies and pets.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god, and they're suffering. So now that I've no doubt built your confidence in the quality of the products that Creda can produce, let's get into the dolls. And don't worry, there's so many. Unfortunately, there isn't any one specific resource or list of every doll they ever released. Crystalline Toybox, which is a blog, does a really good job of trying to compile some of these and collects a lot of images of some of them. So if you want a little bit of a more in-depth look at some of these dolls, I recommend checking that out. I'm just going to give you a SparkNotes version of the releases for each year in the 80s. This won't be a complete list. A lot of these dolls had different color variations or fashion packs, but it'll give you a basic idea of what we're working with. Beginning in 1982 at the start of the company, this year would also be the beginning of the Flower Princess line, which would be Creda's most successful and longest lasting doll line. With that, we would have the release of the original dolls, as well as fashion fragrance dolls, which were scented dolls. How delightful. That year, they would also release a set with a prince and a princess in these really adorable matching outfits. I think these are quite delightfully designed. I think they are very cute. So we're off to kind of a good start, I'd argue. In 1983, we continue the Flower Princess line with the release of some furniture sets. This bed, absolutely gorgeous. A doll with a unicorn named Rainbow. Great naming conventions. And we also have the starry-eyed bride dolls, who you might remember have the same head molds as the Aurora dolls I covered in a previous video. Lastly, we would have the first Flower Princess ballerina released. Moving into 1984, this year we have the release of the Fairy Tale Witch and Fairy Godmother, who I both love. I love the designs of both of these. The Fairy Godmother's like star crown piece is just so fun. It's super pretty.
Okay,
very big fan. That year they also released separate prince dolls as well as a royal wedding set, which again, I think this is really nicely detailed and looks really good. 1985 is our final year of exclusively Flower Princess doll.
What did they use for the eyes? Black circles with a white dot in them. This was gonna turn out better. Why did I do the black one first? I don't know.
This year we have the Prima ballerina doll, significantly different from the other ballerina doll, as well as the Little Sister line, which, you know, it's just the kid. It's the kids. It's the kid dolls for the kids. And then in 1986, we have a big change, finally breaking away from the Flower Princess line. We have the release of Lace. This is absolutely Creta's second most popular doll line, and Lace was released as a competitive product with Barbie and the Rockers and Gem and the Holograms. So it was another rock star doll line, essentially. This line would have
The whites of his eyes
released, as well as fashion packs, and also this specific doll, who I feel like is me in the Creta cinematic universe. Like, she's me. Lace must have done pretty well because by 1987, Creta was going all out with the doll lines. First, they released the Bobby
Would that look too freaky? It dropped onto the ground. Like a white eyeball with a black pupil. Because then it might actually show up, is all. I'll try it.
Doll line, which was based around fashions from the 1950s. 50s fashions, culture, and music had a little bit of a popularity or resurgence in the 80s. So while it seems out of place, it does kind of make sense, and it's kind of just following a general cultural trend that was happening. We also had the Sun Dreamer line of dolls, which were a line of tan-skinned, swimsuit-clad dolls that totally weren't based off of the California Dream Barbie released the same year. 87 also had the Prom Night line, a collection of dolls wearing formal apparel, joining Hasbro's
I think it's gonna look
Perfect
terrifying.
Maxi in prom releases that year. I also think this Bride doll was released that year. I don't know much about her. And of course, we also have some Flower Princess releases. So this year we have the
It's not going great.
soft
It's not
and
going great.
shimmering ballerina, so
fine.
number 3 on
It's fine.
ballerinas,
It's fine.
and
It's
fashion
fine.
changes, which was
Everything's
all about
fine.
quickly changing the
What have I
style.
created?
Then in 1988, we'd have some secrets. The first being Suntan Secrets, kind of a predecessor to the Sun Dreamer line, wearing pretty similar outfits, but these dolls had a secret. They could tan. In the sunlight, their skin color would get darker, and then in the shade or the dark, it would get lighter. They also had like stickers you could put on your dolls, so kind of like in a tanning booth, you know, putting the sticker on, so you have like a sticker outline when you get tan, which is in some ways fun.
Is it horrifying?
Like SPF 50+ person myself. I'm also like,
it's just a dark blow. Oh god! The other one's gonna work. The other one's gonna work. This is the one I was not sure about. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, creature. You're gonna look ugly as hell as a needle felted thing. That's
cringing a little bit. I will say the boxes did highlight like, wear, you know, sun protection, wear sunscreen, but tanning was a trend that I do not think had a lot of long-term benefits for us as a society. That year, of course, we would also have the release of Glamour Secrets, but let's go ahead and get through the rest of Creta's releases before we dive into those. 1989
If it's
would
horrifying,
also have a
you
number
can
of
complain.
releases, the first one being a collaboration with the craft brand Tulip. This was a essentially like DIY project focused doll kit. I really love this. I think this is fun. The dolls look really cute. Sounds like they were fairly popular. Something I think is slightly less fun is the Signature 17 line, which I think were intended to be like more high fashion looking. I personally just think they look pretty boring. I don't love the fashion, and I really don't love the packaging or the boxes, so it's kind of like, for me. Of course, we also have a Flower Princess release with the Growing Pretty doll. This one's actually pretty sweet. It comes with a pack of seeds, so you can grow flowers with your doll, which I think is quite adorable. And lastly for this year, we also had the Bright Eyed dolls. These were dolls I discovered only when kind of putting together
Jesus!
I don't really like them. They do kind of remind me of like the Big Eye Kid paintings,
Just fucking
but
looking at you.
just something about them I don't love. I don't know. And yes, we did get through the 80s, but just covering kind of the final dolls that they released from 90 to 92, we have Today's Girls, which was a line based around being Today's Girls, Golden Girls of the West, which, wouldn't you know it, I own for some reason. Someone stop me. In 91, they released a line of magical mermaid dolls, and then in 92, they released these Mardi Gras dolls, which, like, I find a little unsettling for some. I think it's the mask. I just don't love the mask. This list is shockingly not exhaustive.
not a
There are
bug.
probably tons of other dolls that I just haven't found in general.
Maybe
as
this
well
one
as
goes
some
in the
that
trash.
I just couldn't find a release here from, like the Flower Princess Stardust doll,
It's
which
so
I mentioned
bad.
in the Aurora video, as well as this Texas Wildflower doll, whose only photo I could find of it is just bald.
I fucked up. It's not that it didn't work. We're gonna make the tan one, and maybe it'll work better. Oh fuck. I have regrets. Okay, let me look for
Bald doll. If you wanted to know how rough things get in the world of like toy history and catalog, it's bad. To put together this list, I just like went through sales listings. But enough complaining. I know what you're here for. It's time to listen for some glamour secrets.
That's probably the color we want.
The Glamour Secrets line can
Maybe the lighter one. Yellow. We need a brown. That's probably a good brown. Maybe a slightly lighter tan though. It's falling on the ground. Oh. Not quite the right color. I think that's the closest I'm gonna get though. Or we could just leave it. No, it needs to be like slightly browner than that. I have one more dog. Is there anything in here that works? My giant fucking paper bag of nonsense. This is like my aunt gave it to me. She was like, I got knitted needle felting and I'm not into it anymore. You want my old stuff? And I said, sure. There's a fancy gold in here. Look at that. It's mostly yellow. Wait. I think we found what we're looking for. At the bottom of my giant paper bag of random bullshit. be enough to cover his whole body? Maybe. So I think that's all there is. There's some pink in here. Alright, we're gonna go with that! Back on the shelf, you bastards. Anyway. That looks puggy colored. It's pretty dense. I'm gonna have to break it up a little bit. Okay, hopefully get it workable.
Consists of 3 main characters: blonde Heather, redheaded Tiffany, and brunette Vanessa. Or was it blonde Tiffany, redheaded Vanessa, and brunette Heather? As far as I can tell, the main trio of dolls would have 2 releases. The first includes the girls in the following outfits, with artwork whose hair matches the color of the doll's hair, and the item of much controversy perhaps, the scented lingerie satchel, which we will talk more about in a bit. Then possibly that same year would come the second release. These dolls are in slightly different variations of their outfits, and the artwork of the dolls for some reason doesn't match hair colors with the dolls themselves. These dolls would also come with a secret scent locket you can wear instead of the scented lingerie sachet. These are great sentences, you know? The other main difference between the dolls is with the second release with the scent locket, there includes a label saying that it conforms to British and European safety standards. So I think that the second release was released in the UK. However, I don't know for sure if it was released worldwide or just in the UK. These dolls did also come with some race variation. There were white and black ones, I believe, except I've only been able to find, I think, one example of a black variant so far. The doll line would also have an advertised 20 outfit packs released for them. However, I've never personally seen any of the bridal ones included in this lower section, so I don't actually know for sure if they were released. But I will say, these outfits and the outfits the dolls are wearing, in my opinion, are really nicely detailed. They use a mix of different fabrics. They're very much intended to be layered on each other, which I think is nice. And as someone that likes a fancy little thing to sleep in, honestly a big fan of a lot of these. I think they're quite cute. Glamour Secrets would also have a budget doll that was released, which was called the Teddy Girls. These were 3 different dolls that were wearing a teddy with a teddy bear. I will say these dolls give me a little bit more of the ick than the regular dolls, simply because the line on the packaging that says, "Have you hugged your teddy today?" It just makes me feel kind of, I don't like it. Step. But speaking of packaging, I do think that the packaging on the regular Glamour Secrets doll boxes is pretty fun. I like the front packaging with this kind of floral pattern and the gold foil. It makes it look very attractive. And on the back, we actually get to read some Glamour Secrets. Tips for facial, nail, and hair care, including things like wearing sunscreen, filing your nails, shampooing your hair. Okay, so it's kind of like basic hygiene stuff, but I think it's all, always great
How to be
have
glamour.
it reiterated sometimes, especially when you're a kid and getting the hang of it, and maybe you want to feel more mature and you start washing your face every day. That can be an exciting achievement, and if it makes you feel more glamorous, I think you should go for it. However, the very last tip on the box does change depending on which version of the dolls you have. For the dolls with the secret scent locket, the box recommends wearing it around your neck and putting a little dab of perfume behind your ears whenever you want a refreshing fragrance lift. But the first version of the dolls with our sachet say to put the lingerie sachet in your drawer to give your clothes a delicate scent. And, ellipses, did you find the extra pocket in the sachet to keep your own little secret in? Which includes a drawing of there being a pair of panties in there. Now this is the point where I can feel kind of uncomfortable with this. The dolls themselves don't bother me that much, considering, again, it was the fashion trends at the time, and they're obviously designed to look like adult women, but this part just kind of gave me, again, that ick. I think they easily could have just called this a clothing scent sachet, and that would have been totally fine by me. I think it's just the term lingerie feels a little bit weird on packaging for a toy that's intended for ages 4 and up. And I don't know if just kind of the general culture around the term lingerie has shifted, but it's definitely something I consider to be a little bit, more mature. I also want to quickly add that like clothing scent sachets are totally a thing. Like you can just go out and buy those. That's not necessarily like an unusual thing. In fact, I have a really fond memory of one when I went to Japan with my family when I was about 10 or 11. I actually got to make what's called a kaori bunkoro, which is like a traditional Japanese scent sachet essentially that has a bunch of herbs in it. And making those was really cool, and I got to bring them home. And so my childhood bedroom always smelled like sandalwood and cinnamon, and it was just so nice. And whenever I smell cinnamon and sandalwood now, I always kind of think of my childhood bedroom. So again, these are normal things. This isn't like a weird thing to make. It exists in a lot of different cultures. Could have been a totally normal thing, but I think they just took it like a little too far. And in terms of who they is exactly, I just want to highlight that like I don't know who designed these dolls. I knew that they were released by Creta, but I don't know who made the face mold. I don't know who designed the outfits. I don't know who made the illustrations. That's just not information that's publicly available or on the boxes in any way. I'm realizing I have some really strong feelings now about like the crediting of artists who create and design toys, but we don't need to get into all of that today. Because there was a switch from the sachet to the solid perfume, I have a feeling maybe when the company wanted to release these in the UK or outside of the US.
And then we need a nice brown. We can have him hold whatever we want. Should we make something for our pug to hold? This guy, I don't know. If you have suggestions on how to make it look not horrible, maybe give them to me. Oh god, we're pivoting and we're making the one that I know can look nice.
That maybe they were like, how about you change this? Or maybe people got upset about it in the US and they decided to change it. Like, I can't find evidence technically of either happening, but that's kind of what I would assume. Either there was some pushback about it, or the government was just like, you can't sell this here. And they were like, cool. It looks like these dolls originally retailed for $6.99, which would be about $18.99 today, which I actually think is kind of like on par with dolls that are released today in terms of it being like a single doll with no extra outfit. I mean, these ones are technically like the 2-in-1 outfit thing, where you know you take off their skirt and now they're now it's a different outfit now. I don't usually count that as 2 outfits. Now, I know at the start of this video, I assumed that these dolls were probably pretty heavily inspired by the Beauty Secrets Barbie, considering both dolls are focused around beauty tips and both have kind of like a day to night sort of thing, with both as well having kind of like the going out look and then you can take a piece off and it's like the staying in lingerie look. And of course, with both of the names including the word secret, I don't think it's totally unreasonable to assume that one inspired the other, even though they released a decade apart. I also can't help but assume a certain Victoria also provided some, you know, name inspiration as well. But speaking of Barbie and lingerie, through the 80s and 90s...
I think that's too big. Oh god. That's way too big. Whoops. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Needs to be like the upper half instead. Like there. I don't know how fucking pugs look, man. I don't live with them. Just making this for someone who does live with them. Maybe I can have him holding a little heart. That would be cute. That's a good idea. Instead of like a candy cane. Oh, this one's winter themed. We're making our own version. Get that bean into shape. Yeah, Okay, fair enough.
I can't say I don't disagree. But listen, it's a birthday present. We gotta make what the birthday boy likes, not what we likes.
That might still be a bit too big, but I don't know. I've been here long enough. I don't want a needle phone anymore.
Barbie would actually have a number of fancy frills lingerie fashion sets released. It really seems like dolls in the 80s just got like a lot of fashion that was kind of matching their adult human counterparts. Like, this is what the women were wearing, and the doll lines were like, yeah, women are wearing this. Kids will want to be able to dress their dolls in it. Because also, frankly, a lot of dolls just like didn't wear underwear. It was funny, I was reading through some different threads about this Barbie lingerie set, and I actually saw a lot of comments of people being like, I liked it when I got this because my dolls could finally wear underwear. And I was like, oh yeah, kind of nice to have like that accessory and part of their outfit that also we just wore on an everyday basis as well. So it doesn't need to be like this weird thing associated with it. It's just Barbie wearing the clothes that people at the time were wearing. Again, I just want to highlight, I don't necessarily have an issue with the dolls themselves wearing the fashion. I think the line that more feels crossed was that like toy to user, like involvement, you know, that's the part it feels a little weird. Glamour Secrets line would only be in production in 1988, with Creda going on to, of course, produce different dolls and leave Heather, Vanessa, and Tiffany in the dust. But you know how I said I was going down kind of trademark rabbit holes earlier? Well, the weird thing is that I could never find a trademark for Glamour Secrets made by Creda. However, I could find one from Mattel. In 2000, Mattel would trademark Glamour Secrets for dolls, doll accessories, and play cosmetics sold together as a unit. Nothing would come of that as far as I know, but it just kind of goes to show how weird and often cyclical the toy world is at times. Well, thank you all for coming on this sort of deep dive into the Glamour Secrets dolls with me. I've tried to highlight it through the video with footage already, but I do own 3 of these beautiful ladies. My goodness. Vanessa and Tiffany are the first release, so they have, of course, the lingerie one. But this Heather has the scent locket, which I honestly want to smell. Should we smell it? Forbidden smell? So I'm kind of tempted, honestly, to try and get the other Heather, so I have a matching set of the 3, but I do think that would be a little excessive of me to try and do. Ew, it smells a little smoky. I think this came from a smoking house. I wonder if it'll smell like anything still. I'm afraid I'm gonna tear it open and it's gonna be it'll like scent bomb my home. It's empty. I'm kind of sad. Heather. These are cruel secrets. Yusuke's like, I do not care. Well, I didn't take close-up shots of the packaging before I did this, which is, I'll just have to tape it back on, won't I? Her green, pink, blue? Green, pink, blue? Twins?
Twins?
I'm a Glamour Secrets doll? Well, that's all. Thank
There
you
we
as
go.
well for all of the kindness
Kind
and
of,
love and support
maybe,
on
I
my
don't
last
know.
video,
Oh,
the
God.
Playboy one. That was just lovely to see.
You may have
because,
regret.
as many of you know, I make just whatever my brain wants to talk about for a lot of these videos. So when one does well, it honestly is just like so nice. It's hard to build a consistent audience on YouTube when you yourself are like the least consistent human on earth. And also, if you watched this entire video, thank you. Did you
You're
ever
welcome.
have a beauty secrets doll?
No.
Did you ever have beauty secrets? Share them. Or
I have
no.
beauty
Thank you all
secrets.
so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye. So imagine you create one of the most...
Pause. Oh my, we got a suggestion. What's the suggestion? You want me to watch fucking MLP video? What the hell? Sure.
In the woods of Everfree,
We're watching
horrid
fucking MLP
voices
videos
call
now.
to thee. Bile seeps like sap drip from a pine. calls to me with a voice like mine. It floods all ears and ties all tongues. Something wicked this way comes.
Wickedness, huh?
Hello, everypony. I am
Oh,
here
God!
to tell you that, as of recently, I have fallen down a very weird, very scary rabbit hole. As of the past 3 weeks, I have been absolutely basking in pony gore upon discovering
Pony
a niche I
gore!
became fairly addicted to. My Little Pony horror. Specifically, but not exclusively, the Infection Alternate Universes, also known as AUs. These bad boys have some of the best horror art I've seen in a hot minute, and a good deal of them actually have some pretty compelling and perturbing stories as well. This trend got really popular back in 2024, when the fans who grew up watching the show began to draw and write their own derivative work, imagining what would happen if the world of My Little Pony was struck with some kind of horrific disease that transforms the ponies into nightmarish monstrosities. And when I say that this has some of the creepiest body horror art you'll ever see, I mean it.
What
Anyway,
the
I decided to
hell?
pick the AU I found personally most iconic, and over the course of writing this video, I ended up finding out that it's also, by far, the most perturbing. None other than Divine Swamp Fever. My goal here is to analyze the shit out of every single post to uncover as many secrets as I can. And I found that once you put them all together, they reveal a bigger picture that is just pure unfettered nightmare fuel. Without further ado, let's take a deep dive into
Pony
this
nightmare fuel, let's
nightmarish
fucking
AU.
go.
The passage I read at the beginning of the video is a warning Zecora gave to Twilight about the disease that was to come, and Twilight ignored it. Originating from the depths of the Everfree Forest, the Divine Swamp Fever is a reinterpretation of a disease that is canon to the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic show, where if you come into contact with the spores of a certain plant, you'll contract an illness that will slowly transform you into a tree. And artist Chloe Alonso shows us what would happen if this disease was distilled by fucking Satan. The result... It speaks for itself. The pony you're seeing here is Shining Armor. He had been sent to Ponyville to investigate why all the correspondence has suddenly stopped, only to then become afflicted with the Divine Swamp Fever. Unsure of his fate, he immediately tried to return home to see his wife Cadence and his daughter Flurry before the worst came to pass. While he still managed to pay for travel and avoid detection on his way back home, by the time he had to enter the Crystal Empire, his mind was too far gone. He was quickly subdued and taken to the dungeons of the Crystal Empire, where he is monitored around the clock while a cure is being researched. By the point we see him, his mind is already being melted away by the disease, making him unable to form complete thoughts. With tears in his eyes, he repeatedly bashes his head against the wall, trying to escape, even though his horn and parts of his skull are broken. All he wants is to be reunited with his family. And herein lies what makes this disease so evil. As it mangles and putrefies the body, it traps the mind in a prison made of its own hazy memories. And I believe this is not a bug, but rather a feature. We'll come back to this for one of my theories later on, but for now let's try to understand how this disease works, because the Shining Armor we're seeing here is still on the early stages of the infection. The Divine Swamp Fever has 6 distinct stages to its infection, and a pony will enter the first stage upon either coming into contact with the spores produced by the Tree of Harmony or getting bitten by an infected pony. From here on out, the newly infected pony will experience symptoms of loss of appetite, irritated eyes, drowsiness, and a lot of thirst. The recommended course of action is to quarantine the pony, but it only gets worse from here on out. In Stage 2, as the disease slowly fills the creature's insides, highly infectious black bile will start seeping from the orifices, mainly the mouth and any existing wounds. The pony will have a very hard time eating, and their brain fog will get to a point where they become trapped inside their own mind, unable to understand the world around them. Starting on this stage, and from then on, the recommended course of action when finding an infected is to neutralize them. Stage 3 is when the disease really picks up. The ponies will start shedding their mane and tail, and in case of the Pegasi, the feathers will become loose and start falling from the wings. The respiratory and digestive systems erode along with the abdominal muscles, as the disease's focus is on fully converting the pony's organs and muscle tissue into bile, with it having already fully replaced their blood and seeping constantly from the mouth and wounds. In this stage, very curiously, they don't experience pain, but rather extreme discomfort. The body reacts on instinct as the mind keeps replaying old, hazy memories. They can barely process what's going on in the outside world, but if a memory aligns with an external stimulus, such as seeing a loved one, it may provoke a moment of lucidity. Stage 4 is when we start seeing major deformities, not due to some mutation, but because the body is now a carcass completely hollowed out and filled with bile, leaving nothing except for thin, fragile skin and the bones. The pony has now become little more than a walking water balloon, their
Oh.
rough equestrian shape only
Great.
maintained by their skeleton. At this point, the bile will start showing a curious property, where once exposed to air, it will start to clot, solidifying into soft, root-like strands. By the 5th stage, the pony is either slow or immobile. Rotting skin clings to the bile scaffolding until it either falls away or is absorbed, with the latter being more common. I'm pretty sure that they're no longer aggressive at this point, as their mouth is far too distended and their jaw muscles have long since turned into bile. At the 6th and final stage, the hose will root in place, the head rears upward, and the bile that comes out of the distended mouth will start to bundle together to form a trunk-like structure. Most of the bile in the body will coalesce into the structure, building it skyward for a few meters before it begins to branch. At this point, they've become what are known as imperfect trees, still alive and still trying to breathe out of instinct even though their lungs have long since been dissolved. But evidence suggests that this isn't the end for whoever gets infected, as the divine swamp fever appears to transcend what a normal disease should be able to do. We'll uncover more on some of the following posts, as there is something almost eldritch about this disease. But regardless of its true nature, efforts must be made to halt its spread. Let's take a look at how some of the characters are doing. Princess Cadence is sustaining a protective barrier around the Crystal Empire until her scholars find a long-term solution for that. She is immune to the infection, but maintaining the shield around the Empire takes up a lot of her power, and there's a chance that she could become susceptible as exhaustion takes hold. Sunburst is one of Cadence's scholars, and he's working on a way to use the artifacts to sustain a long-term shield. Once a solution is found, they can work on treating Shining Armor. Zakora, Twilight, and Starlight were working around the clock with the Ponyville medical staff to help the quarantined ponies, but since Ponyville is so spread out, it's much harder to contain the infection. Presently, only Ponyville Major is being shielded by Twilight. Their hope is to establish communication with another community to understand the scale of what they're dealing with. However, as Starlight was working in an infected zone, she was attacked and didn't manage to defend herself. The flesh surrounding her spine has degraded, making it difficult for her to move.
Look at the fucking spine! Ew!
Leaving her slow and shambling, with tears in her eyes as she struggles to make sense of what became of her. She has keen senses, but is not very aggressive. Celestia works full times maintaining shields around Canterlot and other surrounding communities. Luna is in charge of working on a cure and handling logistical affairs. Since the infected are dreaming all the time, she is able to dreamwalk into their minds. They hope that they can learn something from the infected without having to be physically near them. Applejack and her family are staying in a separate quarantine zone and are responsible for keeping Ponyville fed. And while Applejack is fulfilling that job well, Big Mac is struggling with the nightmares and guilt of having left a pony behind. Rarity has taken on nursing duties, working along with Nurse Redheart and the others on quarantining and treating the infected. No information is given on this earlier post about Fluttershy, but it's later revealed that she's staying in the Ponyville hospital. Pinkie Pie has become infected and was last seen wandering through the woods.
Pinkie Pie in
Judging
these
from her
things.
appearances, she looks to be in stage 2. The most perturbing detail of the scene is her haunting, strained laughter.
Pinkie Pie's always like the one that gets infected in these. I've seen some of them on the Instagrams, but...
In the official MLP canon, it's revealed that laughter is Pinkie's way of dealing with anything that scares her. Rainbow Dash has been found plucking her own feathers, hiding away in the basement of a derelict structure. From the look of it, she also appears to be on stage 2. And the cries of agony that she makes are just...
Oh boy.
Ugh, fuck. She displays a behavior not too dissimilar to that of Shining Armor. The footage is even labeled self-destruction in both cases. One must wonder what it is about this infection that induces this self-destructive behavior. This isn't just a really fucked up disease, there is something bigger hiding beneath the surface, and some of the answers lie at the end of Shining Armor's storyline through this AU. The containment cell could only hold him for so long. By the time we next see him, he has managed to escape and is well into stage 4. He shambles through the empty stone halls, slowly rotting from the inside. The decaying muscle fibers make every step a struggle, with his skin sagging and forming as the bile ferments in his insides. And yet, he continues, moved by the thinnest thread of hope that he could see Cadence and Flurryheart one last time. After some time wandering through the castle, he eventually manages to find the two, as well as Sunburst. Princess Cadence is utterly distraught to see what has become of her husband. The shock breaks her concentration on the shielding spell around the Crystal Empire, leaving it vulnerable to the infection. Shining Armor is slowly approaching, and she can only manage to issue one order to Sunburst. Get Flurry Heart out of there. The screen cuts to black, and in the next scene, the ponies are nowhere to be seen, except where Cadence once stood, now lies a pool of bile, with hoof steps leading in Shining Armor's direction, curiously. Past this point, we never hear or see Cadence again, but we do get a few clips showing Shining Armor's last lucid moments before the infection overtakes his mind completely. He lies in the dark, tears of bile flowing freely from his eyes as he struggles to understand what happened. His boiling mind torments him with the cries of a daughter that is no longer there, and the Morse code in the background spells out his thoughts. Thinking of you. Bile bursts forth from his body and mouth as the cries of Flurry Heart become distant, interspersed with a cacophony that is very indicative of his state of mind.
Nobody cares about
Still,
Spike.
he
Spike is
clings
not
to a
here.
fleeting, comforting memory of his family. The comments that
Where's
comfort the Morse code
Spike?
to be the following sentence: I see you in my mind always. I will wait. I lie still in the quiet. I will wait. I will roam. I will wait. In the last of the videos, as Shining Armor is in the early stages of Phase 6, the Morse code is too echoed and jumbled to make sense of anything past the first two letters, I and M. He looks into the camera with desperate, pleading eyes, and a message appears in the corner. Information. I have information.
Too small.
I am not alone in here. Now, what does that mean? Most of the clips from the Divine Swamp Fever AU are preceded by a warning that tells the viewer not to look, as well as the source from which the video was procured. Both these elements are more important than they seem at first sight. These are tapes being compiled by Twilight in an attempt to figure out how the disease works and how to cure it. She built a kind of machine capable of reading minds, and along with Princess Luna, they're peering into dreams, memories, and the streams of consciousness of both the infected ponies and those who came into close contact with them. The footage can have many sources, but the ones I'd like to bring your attention to are the sources Insider and Outsider. I've seen two prevalent theories as to what these terms could mean. The first is pretty simple. Insider pertains to infected ponies who have been found inside quarantine zones, whereas outsiders refer to ponies found outside of the zones. The second theory is a little bit more interesting and the one I personally adhere to, as there seems to be more evidence to support it. Take note of how all the footage labeled as outsider shows ponies in the earlier stages of infection. Me after one hit of gas stations. I counted 3 videos in total.
Jesus.
All 3 of them show Pinky and one of them also has Rainbow Dash. They don't look like they're doing well by any means, but from their appearance we can tell that they can't be much further than stage 3. Their mane hasn't even started shedding yet, so I would further argue that maybe they're in a transition between stages 2 and 3. Now, the footage with the source labeled as Insider shows ponies in a much later stage of infection. I counted 4 videos in total. We have an unknown pony who's recently reached stage 6, Shining Armor who's also recently reached stage 6, Starlight who we've seen transitioning between stages 4 to 5 to 6, and Lyra who from this footage appears to be deep into stage 5 given how distended her mouth is. If you think about it, it doesn't really make sense for the insider ponies to be the ones who have infiltrated the quarantine zones precisely because they are in the later stages of infection. Those are the ponies you'd expect to find deep into infected areas, whereas in the supposedly clean quarantine zones, the only infected ponies you would be seeing should be in the earlier stages of infection. Remember that at the later stages, the bile consumes everything, including most of the musculature, so the late stage infected shouldn't be anywhere near mobile enough to be able to infiltrate a quarantine zone. So what do the terms insider and outsider mean? The second theory posits that these terms refer to the infected pony's state of mind, where outsider is respective of ponies who are trapped in the abstract maze of their own precious memories, and insider is respective of ponies who have been fully assimilated by the Tree of Harmony. What Shining Armor meant by I am not alone in here is that once you get past a certain point in the disease, once your mind has fully corroded into the bile, the Tree of Harmony links the pony's consciousness into a sort of hive mind that contains all other imperfect trees. I believe the jumbled Morse code we see in his final video is a representation of the voices of other infected joining in his consciousness. And I'm pretty sure we get to see the exact moment where the transition between an outsider and an insider happens. One of the videos shows Pinky's stream of consciousness as she's well into stage 4. As expected, she is trapped in her own mind, picturing herself alone at home, making faces in the mirror. For but an instant, her blissful gaze breaks, and she glimpses her true appearance. She looks at her own reflection with confusion, and then we cut to this image where Morse code repeats the message, "Be not afraid." This particular choice of words, with all its biblical connotations, make me believe that this is a representation of the Tree of Harmony as it beckons Pinky to join it.
Look at those ears.
To add to this, there's some tiny text in the upper left corner that spells out Pinky's thoughts. The font is really tiny, so some parts of it are just straight up indecipherable. Here it is in case anyone wants to give it a try. But the rest of them have been decoded by the comments to say as follows. I knew it. My head was unusually clear. I was at ease. They put me at ease. And I'm sure something felt wrong. And they let me right back down. It's interesting to see how, as this disease morphs the body, it also tries to soften you up mentally, showing you imperfect recreations of your comforting memories to get you to lower your guard for your assimilation into the hive mind. But it gets so much worse than that. We've taken a look at what the sources insider and outsider mean, but there are two other main sources, those being Dream Sample and Memory Bank. Dream Sample is pretty self-explanatory. Luna and Twilight peep into the dreams of the infected to get any information they can. Luna tried doing that a few times and it backfired a little bit. But that doesn't really deter either of them, especially Twilight, as we'll see later on. The other source, Memory Bank, is a little bit more elusive, but Twilight's machine, despite being literally called the Dream Machine, is capable of doing more than that. It can also tune into ponies' minds and read their memories freely, at a range, and as we'll later find out, without their consent. There are two main storylines we get to follow through these sources. The first one shows the consequences of Big Mac leaving someone behind, and the second I shall reveal much later for dramatic effect. We're not shown exactly what happens, but Big Mac was trying to help Bon Bon escape Lyra, her canonical wife. As he is running away, Bon Bon kept telling Big Mac to go back and help her, but he knew that once the infection gets to you, there is nothing that can be done. With tears in their eyes, they had to leave her, and that event marked Big Mac ever since. One of the videos shows him in a daze as memories of that day flash back in his mind. Granny Smith shows up in the doorway and gently urges him to go to bed.
Why does she look so fucking freaky?
He complies.
No, 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 no! Oh boy. Fear.
Big Mac is saved by the moon peering through the window. It's Princess Luna, and she is peering into his dream. This is something that she's been doing pretty liberally. Sustaining the barriers around Canterlot and the adjacent settlements is quickly exhausting Celestia's magic. As such, Luna has taken up the duties of rising and setting the sun, and she's growing increasingly desperate to find a solution to the madness surrounding her. And so, she does what she does best, walking into Pony's dreams, trying to understand the aspects of the disease that go beyond contagion.
Oh boy. Why is it so scary? Terrifying pony show.
Bon Bon finds herself weeping before a river. A figure approaches from the other side.
It's a fucking robot. Beep, 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 beep. Tell me what the Morse code means, YouTube man.
Let's interpret this together. Bonbon is having a dream reminiscing of the day she lost her lover. From what we saw in the cardboard show thingy, it seemed that it was a rainy day and there was some kind of flooding or body of water involved. It would make sense that this element would be present in the dream, and it would moreover serve as a barrier between her and Lyra. The thing is that the pony she's talking to is not Lyra. Not anymore. Think of the way she replies to Bonbon. Pay close attention to the way Lyra delivers her line. It's said in a very monotone, robotic fashion, not something you'd hear from a lover reuniting with their other half. And more importantly, because this is Bonbon's dream, wouldn't it make more sense for her memory of Lyra to sound warmer, or alternatively, pissed off? Let's look at the next line.
Time to make a house.
Lyra would know what Bonbon felt guilty about. It was probably the most scarring event of both their lives. She wouldn't ask for what. This may be me reading too much into it, but Lyra's answer here is way too fast, and also it just sounds off. Lyra seems a bit too accepting of Bonbon, and she's still delivering her lines very flatly. The one time we see emotion in Lyra's voice is when she notices Luna watching them, and she immediately disappears with no regard for Bonbon. Now, why would she do that unless there was something about her that she didn't want Luna to find out? And another thing to note is that as Lyra disappears, it starts to rain, much like how it was raining in the day they got separated. I don't know, I just thought that was a cool touch. You've probably already figured it out by now, but Bonbon in her dream is talking to the infection pretending to be Lyra. Remember that when we saw Lyra, she was deep into stage 4 and already considered to be an insider, already part of the hive mind. While pretending to be Lyra, the infection is trying to gain the trust of Bonbon so that it may be able to infect her later on. Don't let Luna into your dreams. If she sees me, she'll realize what I am. See you soon. The infection is sentient and it somehow got access to Bonbon's mind, but it doesn't stop there. Let me show you another video. This one is from Zikora's perspective, as she's staying in the Ponyville hospital. A quiet night without a sound. I'd better take a look around.
Does Zikora just speak in rhyme?
Lightly tread, don't make a peep, or hear the sickly pony sleep.
Is that just a thing about her? I haven't watched Friendship is Magic. I was a little too old for it.
Why, Fluttershy, are you alright? It's been an awfully quiet night. Alright then, I'll leave you be. But if you want anything, please call for me. Oh, sweet mother of Celestia! I'm sorry, Zikora, I didn't see you there. That's quite alright, Nurse Rarity. It's hard to spook a soul like me. I've just been on edge lately, I'm sure you can relate. I feel like my head is on backwards sometimes. In times like these, so full of dread, it serves you well to keep your head. You might want to tell that to Twilight, darling. Her head's been as loose as an old frock. She's been working on her dream machine thing day and night, working herself up. I haven't even seen any dreams come through. She's covered all the footage with warnings. It just says, don't look over and over. Should probably let you peek. You're her right hoof mare after all. Oh my goodness, I've been standing here for nearly a minute. I gotta keep on my rounds. It's been lovely chatting, darling. Oh, Lyra. Oh, Macintosh. Oh, you damned moon. Evil, wailing moon. This video is just one of the many tapes being compiled by Twilight, and here it's revealed that the don't look warnings we've been seeing in all of them are not a trigger warning for the audience, but rather an in-universe element Twilight deliberately put in all the tapes she's been gathering that contain information on either the infected or the people who's come into close contact with them. But in this footage there isn't even any infected involved. Zecora has technically been in the Ponyville quarantine with
I'm not
Twilight,
a man in my
right?
40s, so I didn't
Well,
watch
in a
it.
status update post that came before this video we just watched, we see how most of the characters are doing, and it
Not
says
even
that Zecora
40.
is shaken after an encounter with the Tree of Harmony. We're not really shown what this encounter is, but my guess is that the infection's hive mind manifested itself in Zecora's dream much like it did to Bonbon. The difference being that Zecora realized the nature of what she was interacting with, and as it turns out, Twilight had an inkling about what that could imply, which is why she decided to probe her memories. Zecora wasn't too keen on that, as we'll see in the next clip that gives out the biggest mindfuck of the whole AU so far. A simple transcript of a conversation between the Princess of Friendship and her right hoof mare. How long has it been? How much time has come to pass? Why does it matter to ask? Zecora, what good would it do for you to peep into my mind while it's asleep? You know why I'm doing this. My words before you did not heed, now my thoughts you want to read? Already now my ears are full, a grinding voice, like a blade that's dull. No good will come from what I recount. I believe this will keep the sickness out. What, your memories? You think your memories are contagious? That's ridiculous. You're being selfish, stupid, overly cautious. We know it's physical. I've proven it already. I just need to see exactly what you saw. I need to know how it started. Was it not you who first had thought the mind is what invites the rot? I was just taking extra precautions. I've looked at hours of footage and I have zero symptoms. Sure, you have no bile or blight, but what makes you certain you are alright? Please, Zecora. No. Absolutely nuclear lore drop that the infection can spread mimetically. Merely witnessing an infected, hell even the footage of an infected, can be enough to compromise someone's safety. That's why Twilight has been putting all those warnings, because information about the infection is enough of an opening. Once you've witnessed the infection, it will sit at the back of your mind, whispering, beckoning, masquerading as whatever will most effectively get you to be a part of it. That's why it manifested as a forgiving, loving Lyra in Bonbon's dream and as a deformed monstrosity in Big Mac's dream. It's targeting the weaknesses, Bonbon's consuming grief and Macintosh's overwhelming guilt. The Tree of Harmony even speaks to him directly, once again telling him in Morse code to be not afraid. Seeing an infected is not safe. Seeing footage of an infected is not safe. Dreaming is not safe. Fuck, at this point maybe even thinking is not safe. So one must wonder, how come Zecora, Twilight, and Luna are doing okay? Well, Zecora sort of told us that she isn't. Already now my ears are full, a grinding voice like a blade that's dull. She's not referring to Twilight's voice, she's talking about the infection, the one that speaks to her every time she goes to sleep. Remember the warning she gave to Twilight all the way back in the beginning of the epidemic. It floods all ears and ties all tongues. The infection has already invaded Zecora's mind, putting her at risk. But at least it's just her at risk, and even though we don't see her, she didn't strike me as someone with brain fog, as you'd expect with the early stages of the infection. She was locked in, but you know who wasn't? Twilight. Remember that the infection plays to the host's weaknesses. I don't know how Twilight is characterized in the official show, but in all the infection AUs I've seen, she's always a bit of a tweaker. She is the smart one from the group, always coming up with plans and trying to prove things empirically.
What does a pug's tail look like? Well, don't show me their asshole. Just show. Okay, they have little curly cute tails. All right. We can give him a little curly Q-tip.
Popular
That's not the one we're watching.
That's why she's so frequently the one working on finding the cure in most AUs. But she is a known control freak, and at least in the AUs, she doesn't react well to being confronted with something that goes against her plans or beliefs. And the way she reacted to Zecora not giving her consent to probe her memories is pretty telling.
We're ignoring him,
Acting
it's
in that
fine.
erratic way she's known for. And notice how when Zecora asks how she knows if she's alright, she doesn't have a reply. Twilight herself knows that the disease can spread through information. Why else would she have put the warnings in all the tapes, including the transcript? But then, if she knows of that property, why does she insist on using the dream machine and keeps probing Pony's memories? My theory is that this is precisely what the infection is telling her to do. It's telling her to keep compiling the tapes and peering into the infected memories because that's a way to get her infected herself. Okay, then what about Luna? Well, in the status update we see shiny armor, then a glitch effect, and then Luna...
That don't look good.
I don't know if this necessarily means that she's infected, but I'll choose to believe it because it supports my theory. Very well, so far we know that the infection turns you into a rotting water balloon, traps you inside your own mind, assimilates your consciousness into a hive mind, spreads through non-physical means, and is seemingly sentient and cunning. Pretty bad so far, but you know what's worse than the Divine Swamp Fever? 2 Divine Swamp Fevers.
What?
A new strand of the disease has been ravaging through eastern Equestria. Its symptoms are supposedly pretty similar to the original strand, but it's different in the way that it spreads. As of now, there are 2 tapes pertaining to this new strand. The first is focused on preventative measures. The infection can spread from pony to pony, but its main method of contagion is through contaminated food. Contagious spores get mixed in with things like grain, wheat, water, sugar, and produce, and as such, the vast majority of ponies infected by the disease have never even seen another infected. And so, to ensure that the food is safe, you're supposed to see if it shows signs of being sore. SORE is an acronym that stands for spores, oddities, rot, or edema. Basically, if there's any indication that the food has some kind of abnormality, such as odd coloring, spots, weakened integrity, and other things like that, throw it away. It's better to starve than to succumb. This new strain of the infection necessitates an official announcement from Twilight that, surprise surprise, spreads the disease mimetically. Even they have the don't look warning even though they're supposedly being shown to all of Equestria. And as if all that wasn't enough, there is one simple fact that seals this world's fate. Remember that second storyline I said I was going to reveal much later for dramatic effect? Turns out that the disease managed to contaminate the one person who had a chance of fixing this whole mess. Discord got infected. A full-on chaos deity with absolute control over reality has become nothing more but another victim. Vomiting bile forth, his magic spasms wildly. To my knowledge, no one's been able to fully decode what he says in this first clip, but the closest translation is something on the lines of, "I went out of my way for Fluttershy." We're never shown what happened, but from the look of it, Discord sacrificed himself to save Fluttershy. And if anything, he at least can rest assured in knowing that she got a chance to live another day. And she did turn out fine after all. She's resting at the hospital where we saw Rarity and Zecora. However, Discord's suffering is nowhere near close to
Aha! He stand up on his own.
The second video from him is a sample from his dreams,
Alright.
and it shows him trying to navigate through a forest.
This one is okay. I need him to sit up straight. He wouldn't sit up otherwise. Look, now he sit up all on his own. You. Do I want to try? Ugh. I'll
While
attempt.
his mind is trapped in a maze of memories that consists mostly of Fluttershy. If you reverse the audio at the beginning of the video, you can hear a female voice.
Yeah, this is the tree right here.
There's also tiny text in the corner that is really hard to decipher, but my best guess is that it spells out, "I don't know what to do." I'm assuming the female voice is Fluttershy. Who else could it be? But the tree. What tree is she talking about? Could it be that Discord tried to do a little finagdangling with the Tree of Harmony that ended up backfiring? Is this the origin of the infection? I don't know. His third and last video is probably the most perturbing one. It's initially just footage of someone wandering through an open field at night, while text periodically shows up in the top left corner. Much like in the last video, I believe these are Discord's thoughts as the infection rages inside him.
Birthday Boy has 2 pugs, and one of them is black, and one of them is that colors. That colors. So I'm trying to make a black pug. It's not working though.
It It was pretty hard to decipher what the text
What was
is
the
in this
goal?
one because the lines often overlap, but here's what I managed. During the beginning of the video, I can make out good connection, connected, and help, help, help. The vertical lines spell out, it's boiling, it's inside me, I don't know what to do, and help me a bunch of times. Then they say, hear me, it's all in here, I just can't make it out. Then we have this fucking mess. The top line says in this world and every other, but the other two lines are really hard to make out. I stared at it for like a good 30 minutes and this is the best I managed. The middle line contains the sentences, it's in here, all in here, everything, and once again, I don't know what to do. And the bottom line is one that I genuinely have no clue about. I'm decently confident that one of the sentences is everything that was or would be, but the second one, dog, all I got was some pony must that over ill in her. That's most certainly not what the phrase says, but you're absolutely invited to try if you want to give it a shot. Then he shows up and screams. The video ends with Morse code spelling out, I cannot die. And yes, being immortal, his fate is probably the most nightmarish of all characters. The one person who cannot be saved from his now eternal torment. Nothing can save Equestria from its fate. The infection is insatiable, and it won't stop until the whole world is consumed. It feasts on your body and puts your mind in a pressure cooker, and once there's nothing left to putrefy, it goes for the soul. Even someone with the power to bend reality to their will is utterly and completely helpless in the face of what is essentially an eldritch deity that manifests in the form of an infection. This is how you do horror, and to think that it came from fucking My Little Pony of all places. But yeah, the bulk of what I had to say about this AU is over, though there are a couple of videos that I didn't show here, mostly because they don't really reveal that much about the main story, but let's go over them anyway. There's a video that comes from Cheerly where she's trying to get away from an infected Lyra, and the audio in this one is pretty haunting because you can hear Lyra softly singing as she gets close. Eventually, she corners Cheerly in the basement of a building, and the comment's best guess at the text at the upper left corner is as follows. I thought I left someone out there. It wasn't who I thought, and I didn't know they could open doors.
Oh.
There's a video directly from the dream machine that shows Cheerly's perspective as she's hiding from an infected, presumably Lyra. There's one showing Sunburst walking through the forest on his way to Ponyville while carrying Flurry Heart. He eventually finds a house and decides to take shelter in it, but an infected pony spotted him and slowly makes its approach. I've seen some people in the comments say that this is Cadence, but it's missing the wings, so I'm pretty sure this is just some random unicorn. There's this one slide all the way in the beginning, and honestly, I am not sure what it means. My first guess is that it probably has something to do with transitioning from being an outsider to being an insider, but from Pinky's appearance here, she doesn't look to be deep enough into the infection for that to happen. To be fair, we don't really know when exactly the video of her in the mirror takes place. I said she was on stage 4, but that was my guess from her appearance. Bottom line is, I don't know what caught in an in-between zone means. There are numbers that appear at the end of Big Mac's stream and Twilight's conversation with Zecora. I have no idea what they mean. There's this one video that has Morse code saying, I'm still here. I can hear you even when I know you're gone. My eyes are working at half. My ears are working at none. Judging from the post order and the context, this is most likely Shining Armor balls deep into stage 6, but it could just as well be anyone else.
Balls deep, huh?
Finally, there's this one video of a mall and a goofy-ass Pinkie Pie, but the creator herself said this isn't canon, go figure. But yeah, this AU is peak, and it's just one of them. There are countless others that are just as well made. I was originally going to cover 3 of them in this video, but I felt like I couldn't do each justice with the time I gave them. But yeah, in case you're new to this brand of horror, there is a lot more where that came from. There's a link to Chloe's TikTok page in the description, and I'll also take a moment to shout out the YouTuber who got me into this mess in the first place, Daniel Profeta. He's a channel focused on horror content, and he's been doing quite a few of these infection AUs as of late. Shout out Daniel. That was roughly all I had to say about Divine Swamp Fever. This style of video does take a fair bit of work, but I was having a blast the whole time. I can only hope that you enjoyed watching this just as much as I did making it. That's gonna be it for me, and I'll see you in like 2 or 3 months, who knows.
Well then. Ponies is so creepy. Should we watch more of a fucking pony video? fuck it. It's time for pony horror. You started
Another day,
this. Hello.
another infection AU. I've been
Oh
really
my
enjoying
God.
making this style of video. It's a bit more laid back than my older stuff, and I've
don't
been able
know
to
you, just get
upload
to
way
the
more
point, my guy.
frequently.
Those are
Ironically,
very cool
YouTube
plushies. Look at
and
that
my
thing.
audience have rewarded me for this by watching significantly more than they ever have in the entire history of my channel. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Am I
I'm Daniel
your
Profeta,
audience?
and tonight we are going to be
Yes,
learning
for this
about
moment I
false alicorn syndrome. A lot of people were requesting this under my recent post asking for requests, and I am excited to dive right in and induce
Look at me
some
with
more
those
madness
eyeballs,
in my
those
mind.
big blue eyes. My
False
God.
alicorn syndrome, MLP infection AU. Trigger warning,
Lol,
blood
13 or
and
older.
gore. Not for kids, only watch if you are 13 or older. Am I 13 or older, guys? What do we think? As usual with a lot of these types of videos, right off the bat we are greeted by the stages of the infection, starting with a healthy pony. A vibrant cutie mark, magic is distributed through the body, normal facial features. The word vibrant for the cutie mark kind of makes me think that eventually it'll fade, probably. It'll like slowly evaporate or go away or get corrupted somehow. I would love to see an infection AU where the character's cutie marks and like their purpose in life gets corrupted by the infection and turned into like the inverse or a messed up version of what it was supposed to be. Stage 1 infection, the pony is fatigued with droopy eyes, frequent nose bleeding. You could even say that they get 11 nosebleeds per week. I'm sorry. Hair loss and the cutie mark begins to fade. Stage 2 infection, the magic is gone. Skin begins to grow over the eyes. More hair loss and the cutie mark continues fading, and the limbs start growing and becoming more slender. One could even say elongated, or slender, more like Slender Man, haha. Stage 3 infection, oh damn.
What the
Those
hell is
eyes
that?
look terrifying.
Ooh.
Look at that. Bleeding from ears, eyes, mouth, and nose, acceleration of all the previous symptoms. Begins to experience heightened aggression and dementia symptoms. Stage 4 infection, extremely aggressive at this stage. The symptoms get accelerated further, bumps on forehead and back from where we hit them with a comically oversized bat, bruising, trying to infect as many ponies as possible. I wonder how the infection actually spreads. Like, is it the blood? They're like vampires. They need to drink the blood.
probably
I have
bites.
vampires on the brain from one of our recent videos where we went over the bat bite infection, or the blood bite syndrome, I believe. Which had vampires in it, which is cool. You should go watch that. But anyways, and stage 5, a new horn and wings have sprouted where the bumps were. Magic is concentrated in these new limbs. The corpse itself is decomposing.
so bad.
It's extremely fragile at this stage. And then there's stage 6. I'm sorry, the mouth is really funny to me.
Okay then. Learning about a flash game. What flash game is this?
It's Tia's birthday,
What
and
the
she's
hell?
looking forward to beating all of her friends with the new card her dad gave her. Beat the other guys by choosing the right cards, and earn more cards until you're the best of them all. And don't go into the woods. The Day is a short flash game from 2010. Ostensibly one big puzzle where you have to traverse a small map finding kids to play a card game with. The rules are very simple. Whoever has the biggest number wins. But there's something else. Your dad is the first person you talk to in the game. He gives you a birthday present, a playing card he had when he was a kid, depicting a soldier in a war-torn background, and revealing that this is apparently a game played by all of the kids at your camp. And before you head off to play, we're told of one more thing. Remember, don't go into the trees or the guards will kill you. That's how your Uncle Jack died. Happy birthday, Tia.
Child murder.
Make sure you don't go into the woods. This, of course, provides us with two parallel objectives. 1, beat everyone else at this card game, and 2, find out what's so dangerous about the woods. Heading south, another adult warns us that if you get near the fence, the guards will kill you, which seems to be somewhat ironic, because we can't actually see a fence. The entire camp is surrounded by a thick, impassable layer of trees, the woods our father was talking about, and apparently he doesn't need to worry, because we can't enter them, even if we want to. We may also notice another thing. We're being watched. Constantly. There are tall camera poles all over the camp, which follow your every move incessantly.
Does that help at all?
Let's go back to the card game for a while then. Our measly one soldier loses against a kid's group of 3 and another kid's sniper, as that card has a special rule that makes it win any tie. Luckily, as it's our birthday, we don't lose any cards and are free to try again and again. Near the bottom of the map, we finally find someone our own size, a kid whose only card is a civilian, with a strength of only 1, depicting a man surrounded by buildings unlike anything in our camp, and with some sort of rocket heading straight towards him. With our newfound power of 3, we can claim the sniper, go north and beat the kid with the tank, and with a total strength of 7, finally defeats the 3 soldiers. At the end of our short puzzle, we return to our friend who first told us the rules of this game. She says she has a very powerful card and oh. Yeah, she has a missile silo, with a rocket that looks like the one from the civilian card, and it has a strength of 15, over double what we can muster. We have to look around the camp a bit more then. To the east we meet Old Man Bilk, and while he doesn't have any cards, he does have something to say. We didn't always live here, you know. The trouble started when I was young. I remember traveling, but now we don't leave the camp. Ever. Your father was only a baby when we first came to the camp. Now he's all grown. Apparently, we aren't the only ones unable to pass through the woods.
Still a bit of an eldritch horror.
To the northwest, we find a doctor who asks us if the cough cleared up. I hope you have a happy birthday. Don't play too hard. We ran out of antibiotics months ago. I need to look through the books my father gave me to see if I can find a way to make more medicine. Resource scarcity seems to be a theme here, as Mrs. Jessup, who warned us not to approach the so far unseen fence, also tells us, don't step on the plants. If you kill a plant, you get less food. Finally, we find a kid near the top of the map. He only has something cryptic to say. Don't use a tank. We've fought what you expect as a soldier so far. Snipers, tanks, missile silos, and... what on earth is that? The laser drone is unlike anything we've seen so far, unlike any conventional weapon of war from both our world and Tia's. The sky is a dark purple and the ground is muddy and littered with barbed wire. It looks like something out of the Somme, and it bears a striking resemblance to the environment our soldier card is in, the only 2 depicted in this way. The hint we are given turns out to be appropriate, as the card has a special condition, growing from a strength of 6 to 10 if we play a card stronger than 2. 3 soldiers results in a draw, but if we swap one for our sniper, which automatically wins any tie, we emerge victorious. With our new bizarre war form in hand, we can return to our friend with a missile silo. The laser drone becomes a strength of 10, the tank brings us to 13, and the sniper once again ties us at 15 and wins the draw. We return to our father, who congratulates us on our victory and tells us our mother is baking a cake, and the game fades out. The Day is an excellent, short and simple puzzle game that really takes me back to the early Flash days. What looks like a dressed up top trumps or ironically a game of war is surrounded by a story of scarcity and fear. You're constantly being watched by these guards, told not to go near them, not to approach the woods, not to touch the fence, and you're hemmed in on all 4 sides by the trees and... yeah. You know I've been lying to you.
Into the woods.
To the west, just above the woman who tells you not to step on the crops, is an opening. And here, finally, we see the fence. Coming into contact with it will reveal the dark twist of the second and final ending. A sharp, pointed reminder to listen to your surroundings and... Just kidding. Instead, there are no consequences for entering these woods, nor for getting close to the fence. The guards seem to be too busy checking their cameras to notice us sneaking past. This gives us a perfect opening to crawl through a hole and push upwards, until finally, we arrive here. A large grey bunker, presumably where the guards are. It's not too late to turn back, but we aren't going to. And inside, we see why the guards didn't care about us breaching the fence. Because there are no guards. In fact, there are no people at all.
It's all empty.
We make our way to the top and encounter several objects we don't recognize, that we can only describe as
There's
a
a
thing,
corpse.
and words glowing behind glass. On the first monitor, we see that those cameras we saw are automatic, following whoever walks past. The guards weren't watching us. No one was. To make up for this, let's place 24 cameras on the screen for the next 22 seconds. The second and third monitors tell us why we're alone. Attention all facilities. Order Omega issued and completed. You are hereby released from duty. Godspeed. Received the final pull-out order, abandoning the internees. They can watch themselves. May God have mercy on us all. All facilities? Are there other camps out there, or is this an order to every military installation? And what's worse? More people out there caught in a trap with dwindling resources, or the army seeming to abandon everywhere? What were they running from? Finally, we come to the last computer, and a familiar-looking corpse. Apparently, he's wearing the clothes Uncle Jack used to wear in old photos. We were told he was killed by the guards after going into the trees, but that may not be quite right. As the final monitor tells us, unauthorized login detected, dispensing lethal countermeasures. I think Tia's father was half right. The guards didn't kill Uncle Jack, but he did die because he went into the trees. I wonder if they know that. The adults are obviously more aware of the perilous situation in the camp than the children, but if they truly know that no one is watching, why don't they leave? Is Uncle Jack a boogeyman designed to keep the kids out of the forest? Or does no one know what really happened? We don't get an answer to 95% of that paragraph, and that monitor is the last piece of text we receive in this short game. But there is one final thing we can do.
Laser drone, spooky.
There's a door at the back, one that apparently no one has thought to use, to go out, to get more medicine, more food. The screens don't call us prisoners, they call us internees. Who are these people? Who is your father? Who is Uncle Jack? What's with the card game? Why are there playing cards of soldiers, snipers, tanks, and perhaps more unusually, of a missile silo and a civilian about to be hit? And lastly, what on earth is the laser drone? As we make our way out of the door, we get our short answer to one of the many questions this open world card game poses. Why don't they just leave? Tia exits the bunker, appropriate, as the card has a special condition,
no!
growing from a strength of 6 to 10 if we play a card stronger than 2. Get our short answer to one of the many questions this open world card game poses. Why don't they just leave? Tia exits the bunker, and the screen zooms out. Lying nearby are the destroyed remnants of a laser drone. It zooms out again, and we can see 2 small craters, one of which seems to have breached the fence of the camp. Where are we? Who are we? What happened? We don't know. But why don't we leave? The game makes that pretty clear. Where would we go?
Oh dear.
There are no guards, no people, no life. Only a computer system whose lone and final order appears to be to stop anyone, friend or foe, from interfering with it. The cards clearly depict some kind of nuclear war, one we apparently just barely avoided, for now at least, and one that seems to have ramped up in brutality over time. 4 of the cards are depicted under a normal looking sky, but the soldier and the laser drone look like they're in hell. Dark skies, clouds that blend with the mud, barbed wire everywhere, and a colossal unfeeling robot shooting bright orange beams in every direction. We don't know how long we've been interred at this camp for, nor how long we've been abandoned for either. But there is one thing we, and Tia, know now. One thing she may wish she didn't know. We're running out of time, and we have nowhere else to go. We aren't in a protected camp. We're in a life raft. And there's no one coming to rescue us, because we can't be certain that there's anyone out here at all.
Oh dear.
Thank you for watching.
Oh. That's the end. Okay. Guess that's it. Hey, we played that one. Now what? Should we watch this other one? You have more Flash games? Got a needle. Alright! It still looks kind of horrible, but it's done. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good, and we're gonna stop, and I'm gonna call it good, because I can't. I tried. It didn't work out very well, but I tried. This one looks cute, at least. I'll just have to beg forgiveness for doing such a bad job on the black one. I attempted. I attempted, at least. Well, Pug 1. Pug !2. It's fun. It's good enough. Where? We'll sing some songs. And I'll cry about my inability to fucking make these things. And I'll put away all my plastic baggies too. Alright, show, where are you? Everybody's eyes are closed. I can't see you, I miss you so. So I shall, where are you? First time I shall went away. Floating island was his home. Then the phone rang off the hook and I tried to come back home. I shall, where are you? Everybody's eyes are closed. I can't see you, I miss you so. So I shall, where are you? Second time he went away. Left the bathtub running over. Stereo on and cooking bacon. Never came back to tell us why. I don't have specific plans. I have some games I could play that I got because they was on sale. Do we want spookies? Do we want cleaning games? If that honey would come home, we would throw such a party. Drink and cook the prodigal son. Fondue forks for everybody. I shall, where are you? Everybody's eyes are closed. I can't see you, I miss you so. So hot child, where are you? Hot child, where are you? Hot child, where are you? I'm not singing the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse song. The friend slop, tidy slop. Brutal. I was born in a lighthouse, my mother was the sea. I cried to school each morning when it occurred to me that life's just a mood ring we're not allowed to see. And this is what it said to me. My room's comfortably small with rubber lining the walls, and there's someone always calling my name. He calls when I'm alone, and he calls when I'm not home, and he calls when I'm stuck out in the rain. I'm insane, I'm insane, I'm insane, I'm insane. Now listen, all you swingers, don't you try to tag along. I know monkeys see, but monkeys die. For you it would be wrong. Put a dime in my jukebox, you'll only hear this song, and it won't be fun for long. Because my room's comfortably small with rubber lining the walls, and there's someone always calling my name. He calls when I'm alone, and he calls when I'm not home, and he calls when I'm stuck out in the rain. I'm insane, I'm insane, I'm insane, I'm insane. Thank you. Thank y'all. My room is comfortably small with rubber lining the walls, and there's someone always calling my name. Calls when I'm alone, and he calls when I'm not home, and he calls when I'm stuck out in the rain. I'm insane, I'm insane, I'm insane, I'm insane. Well, I guess we can play a level of that. If you wanna, sure, why not? We'll play a friend slop tidy slop after I go have some food. And then I'll come back. Clean off my desk of all the little bits. Anyways. Bye-bye for now! I'll be back in a little bit. Send me the link, please. Which one in particular? Because we looked at like 15. So I don't remember which one you mean now. Anyways, bye for a bit. Brianna? How you say this one? That one actually has at least one letter that is in my name. I have like 8 of them in my wish list. Which one is it? Look for it. Give me a minute. So tidy up together. Is that the one? Okay, cool. I would like all of them in my wish list. It's fine. Anyways, bye-bye. Okay, I didn't put the Lego one in my wish list. That was the one that I passed on.